Turn on. Good morning, dear students. Good morning. We continue the lection by normal physiology. The theme, blood fibrillation, the doctrine about blood groups today. So, let's start. Questions. Blood fibrillation process, blood fibrillation factors. Next question, blood fibrillation phases. Next, the anticoagulation system. And next, the doctrine about blood groups, RH factor. Let's start from definition. Fibrillation is a transition of blood from liquid into a jelly-like state. In the cause of fibrillation, there participate the following plasma factors: 1. Fibrinogen, 2. prothrombin, 3. tissue thromboplastin, 4. calcium ions, 5. 6. accelerator globin, 7. proconvertin, 8. antihemophilic globulin A, 9. antihemophilic globulin B, Christmas factor, 10. Stewart power factor, 11. plasma thromboplastin antecedent, 12. Hegeman factor, and 30. fibrin stabilizing factor. Next, thrombocytic, erythrocytic, leukocytic, and tissue factors also participate in fibrillation. Blood fibrillation phases. Blood fibrillation process involves several stages. The first stage is thrombocytic vascular hemostasis. In the place of damage, the vessel reflex is narrowed and a church of an internal wall of a vessel changes. Here, thrombocytes stick adhesion of thrombocytes. Then thrombocytes flock. Aggregation of thrombocytes is reversible. At irreversible aggregation, thrombocytes collapse and thrombocytic factors of fibrillation are released. Friable thrombocytic thumb is formed under the influence of a thrombocytic thrombostinin. There is a thrombus retraction. If a major blood vessel is damaged, there comes the second phase of blood coagulation, hemostasis. It occurs in 3 stages. In the third stage, tissue and blood, thromboplastin appear in the blood. Scheme, please. In the second phase, in the second phase, under the influence of thromboplastin, thrombin is formed from prothrombin. Prothrombin influence thromboplastin, thrombin. In the third stage, under influence of thrombin, fibrinogen forms fibrin monomer, is first formed. Fibrin monomer. Then there are formed fibrin polymer. Fibrin polymer forms a network involving formed elements. A loose fibrin thromb is formed. The third stage is called after a phase of blood fibrillation. At this stage, the retraction of a blood thromb takes place under the influence of platelet thrombostinin. Then there occurs fibrinolysis. Next. Fibrinolysis, the destruction of a thrombus. Disintegrate occurs involving enzyme system consisting of plasminogen, plasminogen activators and its inhibitors. Next question, the anticoagulation system. Coagulating and anticoagulation system are in the body in a constant relationship and interaction. So the blood in the vascular bed in a liquid state. The anticoagulation system prevents blood fibrillation and disrupts blood fibrillation factors. This system includes heparin, antithrombin, antiplasmin, and others. At low concentration of thrombin in the blood, it is inactivated by antithrombins and heparin plasma. The absorption by cells of a mononuclear phagocytic system. With a rapid increase in the concentration of thrombin in the blood, a neurohumoral anticoagulant system is activated. A sharp increase in the concentration of thrombin in the circulated blood leads to irritation of the vascular chemoreceptors of the bulbus caroticus. Impulses from them come to the gigantocellular nucleus of the reticular formation of a medulla oblongata, and then by efferent waves to the reticuloendothelial system, liver, lungs. As a result, substances that stimulate fibrinolysis are formed. Endothelial cells and smooth muscle cells of blood vessels synthesize substances that prevent platelet attachment to the intact cells vessels. They are prostacyclin 1, nitric oxide, thrombomodulin, and others. Next question, the doctrine about blood groups, RH factor. Today, there are more than 24 blood group system A binol, RH, HR, DUFI, and other. The A binol blood system is divided into groups based on the presence of antigen on erythrocytes, A and B. They are called agglutinogens, and based on the presence of antibodies, alpha and beta, and glue them causing hemolysis. Incompatibility with donor blood group and recipient blood group arises hemoconflict, which ends with the death of the recipient. So, it is blood groups. On erythrocytes, there is also antigen D, RH. Not all people have it. People with D antigen on the red blood cells have RH positive. And those who don't have it are rhesus negative. RH positive blood donor causes of formation of antibodies anti-D in RH negative recipient. RH transfusion of RH positive blood in this cause can cause hemoconflict. A similar situation occurs in RH negative woman, pregnant RH positive fetus during labor or abortion. Fetal red blood cells enter the mother bloodstream and contribute to development of anti-D. In subsequent pregnancies, these antibodies cross the placenta, damage fetal tissue, and cause a miscarriage. So, dear student, this lecture and all course lecture by normal physiology is finished.